another episode of Glory of Golden State Gaming. I'm your host, SwampSwimmer. And with me, as always, the Watson to my Sherlock, Vespasian.
That's a good one. I like that one. Hi, everybody.
Welcome to another Bat Rub. This is my round one of the Fading Flame Ninth Age League. But before we get started, Aaron, recently I've been doing some rereading of some fantasy writings, and I am a big fan of the original Conan the Barbarian short stories.
Okay.
And I am just digging. I'm like clawing through them right now, and they're so much fun to read. I wanted to ask you, what is your go-to fantasy novel or short stories?
Oh, go to. That's a tough one. I've got a long list. The one that I'm in the and kind of have been in the midst of this past year is the Dresden Files.
Okay, yeah, I've heard of that.
Really, really good, and I think they just released the 17th book or something like that. And
Jeez.
they're like candy. You can just go right through them. So yeah, that would be on my list. It's a lot of fun.
That reminds me of for a long time I was reading the Wheel of Time series, and there's like a billion books of those, but each one's like, I don't know, like 700 pages long. So it was a
I
grind. It
think
was a
I
grind.
think I gave up on like number 12 or 13 if that's there. It's just like, and then the guy died. Yeah, it was, yeah. Anyways,
Well, let's get to the bat rep. This was a really fun game. It was with Ben Mitchell from, I believe he's from the Cleveland area, and he's playing Empire Sonnstahl. Again, this is the Fading Flame elimination round, and we played Counter Thrust on map 4 and a Hold the Center, which I think everyone played in round 1.
yeah, I caught some of the end little skirmishes of this battle, so I'm looking forward to seeing how it went.
It was a really good game. Let's see here. Let's look at my list first off. This is the list I'm taking all the way through the elimination round. I've got a Soothsayer as my general. Was the Adept Soothsayer with Evocation, 2 crowns. I call him. His nickname is 2 crowns, which I think is a great nickname. Crown of Autocracy, Crown of Horns. I've also got a Soothsayer Master on Druidism with the Seed and Scepter of Power, and my Beast Chieftain on foot with a bit of a unique build. He's got the Wild Form and the Beast Axe. And the reason why, and a shield with Willow's Word, so he's a 3-up, and I can choose to give him +1 toughness or -1 toughness, depending if I get Stone Skin off. And the reason I have that build is because I wanted him to hold on to the Talisman of the Void. I wanted that channel 3 in his army. Beyond that, I have a big block of Wild Horns with paired weapons and Banner of the Wild Herd. 2 15-man standard ambushing thrown weapons Wild Horns to fill out core. I'm sorry, and an 18 block of Raiders, which is my Wizard bunker. A big block of Longhorns with halberds, not with great weapons. Majority of people are running halberds, but I wanted to take advantage of Blackwing Totem on that unit. That's why I gained the halberds. 2 big blocks of Centaurs with lances and throwing weapons and full commands. And then lastly, for chaff, 2 units of gargoyles, 3 units of feral hounds.
This is new points, right?
Yes, new points.
Nice, yeah. No, I like this build.
It's I've had some success and some failures with this list, so we'll see how it ends up. Let's see here.
Such is life. Oh, okay.
So I was playing Ben here. He's got the Wizard on Cosmology, a Prelate on a horse with the Locket, Inquisitor with the Hammer of Witches, Marshal BSB on foot, Knight Commander General, and Artificer on horse. He's got a block of Electoral Cab, which I think is pretty standard in Empire lists nowadays, but he went with a infantry heavy. So he's got the crossbows, 20 crossbows, but then 2 units of 20 halberdiers and 22 Imperial Guard to give him the what is it called, the parent unit. He's also got some chaff with the 5 readers, 2 units of skirmishing Imperial Rangers, and 2 cannons. The regular cannon and the steam tank. So I think I've got a. When I first saw this list, I'm like, I think I have a decent matchup because the cannons don't mean a whole lot to me. And then nothing, no individual characters flying around on griffins. So I felt pretty confident against this list.
Yeah, I mean, this is Ben's been playing this build a lot, and it's kind of a evolution or a tweaks to a build that has been doing really well in tournaments recently. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it seems pretty stable. Got pretty all comers. But I agree. A lot of the strengths of this list don't really scare you. The
Yeah,
cannons and all that.
and also
So
the
yeah,
locket. The locket I don't really care about either because I don't have any big badass characters. So
right. Yeah.
all right, let's see here. Whoops, wrong way. So deployment. This is after Vanguard. Yeah, I think he chose sides, and then he got first turn also. I think
Hmm.
so. Yeah. So he's. I put when it comes to my deployment, it basically comes down to where I put my two centaur units, and I put them far left to counteract his knight unit.
Hmm.
To be honest, I was much more afraid of the knight unit as I should have been because it was their cavalry picks. I was thinking they were lances, so I was really cagey around that unit. But the cavalry picks don't hit that hard.
Yeah, their main strength is grinding through armor over the long term, right? So for beasts, they're not that
Mm-hmm.
impactful. Yeah, that's a good point.
And then right down the center, we were both gunning for that for the center objective. I just felt confident with his steam tank coming down the center. I felt confident with my longhorns there. They can grind through him. I'm pretty sure. And then I was trying to get a long charge on the right with my wild horns on top of the hill.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the gist of it.
Yeah, these impassables around the center, especially with hold the ground, make such a big difference in kind of in the way you play and the strategy of the
mhm.
deployment. So yeah, okay.
And let's see, he had the cannon off behind the huntsman off to the left. And let's see, he had, the Inquisitor is with the Imperial Guard on the right. The BSB and the Wizard are in the unit in the center here, and then the Prelate and his Knight Commander are in the Knight bus. Oh, and then
Hmm.
the Artificers with the crossbows here, given the cannon,
Got it.
the
Okay.
3+. Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh, and
Do
that's
you have anything that the Rangers do work against? Not really, because you don't have any beasts, do you?
no, because they do something good. They get lethal strike against beasts. Is that it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I guess technically
Ah, the
the
dogs.
dogs are, but that doesn't
Yeah.
matter. So again, another advantage for me with this list. I think right off the bat I had an advantage in the game, which is lucky for me. That's where I put my forest, the forest grenade. I threw the grenade and it popped up into a forest. And let's get started. Yeah, he had first warn. This was his first movement. This was his movement. Pretty cagey, keeping stuff back. He only had one. He only has one real piece of chaff, which is the readers that he put off to the left here in the water, which is the big thing I was worrying about. That was his movement. It's nothing big in the first phase here. He got altered sight off on his crossbows, and that's the only thing that went through. Everything else I stopped. I think he threw out a fire and ice in there and something else. I can't remember what, but it was an okay phase for me. Shooting, he kills three of the dogs in this unit, and they flee like right back to where they started. So they're just sitting right there. Didn't cause panic in anyone. So yeah, that's turn one.
Wow, against a list like that, that's a heck of a turn one.
Yeah, I got lucky with that. In my bottom of one, my turn phase, I just basically shove the longhorns up. My wizard bunker goes behind the impassable, and I just start trying to zone on the left with the centaurs. I did move the far left centaurs up as much as I could, so they can throw about half the unit, or maybe a little over half the unit, could throw thrown weapons at readers, and hopefully I could get him in one turn. And I threw the chaff out in front of the night bus and the Imperial Guard.
Hmm.
So basically, all the charges that he really had against my Longhorns was the steam tank, which I think I can take alone, and a long charge with these halberdiers here. Actually, a long charge with these halberdiers also. No, they're facing to the left, so it was just these two.
Hmm.
And then moving my chaff up. And I rallied the dogs. Yay.
Okay, yeah. I mean, it seems you're making a pretty aggressive move early, but you like your matchups, so I can understand that.
Yeah,
Um,
my problem I felt with this deployment was I'm only leaving one unit within 6 inches of the center, so I felt I had to push because he's got multiple units he can shove into the center.
yeah.
Because the way he left it, this is bottom of one. He's only got one unit within 6 inches right now.
Mm. Okay.
All right, moving on to my magic phase. It was a good magic phase for me. I got thrown up, stone skin on my longhorns, and regen on the far left. So it's a good phase for me.
Wow.
Yeah, it was pretty good. It helped me out. And then in the shooting
And
phase,
you're putting the screws to bend here early. Yeah. Okay.
I panic the readers, which was glorious
Wow. Yeah. Okay.
because those readers could have gone anywhere and chaffed either one of these two units. It's pretty nice for me.
Yeah.
No combat, so let's go to his turn. Charges. So he charges my chaff on the right with the Imperial Guard. On the left, he charges just the prelate into the docks out of the unit.
Hmm. Okay.
Yeah, he was just afraid of the counter charges, but
Yeah.
the rest of his movement, he only has one unit in within 6 inches of the center, and I have one unit also. Oh, and of course the steam tank goes right into my unit, takes one wound going through the forest. Yes.
I thought random movers don't take DTs. Is that
No,
am I maybe
I'm pretty sure they do.
maybe I'm misremembering. I'll have to look it up. Somebody once told me that the steam tank doesn't take DTs, but maybe I'm misremembering.
The
Anyways,
the rule I always think about is you take DTs whenever you roll for movement, like charges, pursuits, flees, and random movers. That was the rule I always thought. And then also when you march.
okay. I could be wrong. Why do you think he moved the halberd unit off of the objective? I mean, it doesn't necessarily even look like they're doing anything over there.
The one on the left here.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I think
It's an
I
interesting
think he realized on the left here, these two units of centaurs were gonna beat whatever's over here, including the night bus. So he's trying to back them up, I think. And also as mages in there, he wanted to magic my centaurs.
one. Okay. Yeah, that makes more sense. Okay. Got it.
Where were we? Yeah. So he made all his charges and in with the steam tank. Magic phase. I forgot he somehow killed two when he was already in combat. I don't remember how he did that. But he,
That flame thing, they do the D6 hits, and
yeah,
the
I think
prelate
that was
has
it.
that bounce spell that could do it.
And then he got altered sight, the debuff on my longhorns.
That
But
takes you from like hitting on threes to hitting on fours, maybe.
yes, exactly, because he's defensive skill 30. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But I still had stone skin, so I was fine. And plus, I'm re-rolling to hit anyway. So, and he did rally his readers up there, which was disappointing.
Okay.
So he clears out his chaff. He overruns with the prelate didn't get within out of charge distance from my centaurs, and stays where he is with the Imperial Guard.
Okay. You
Uh,
killed one.
yeah, I think it was random shooting. I got one or something. Oh no, the dogs plinked off one.
Ignominious end for a glorious Imperial Guardsman.
And then in the steam tank combat, I do 2 wounds. He does 5. We stick.
Do you use the breath weapon? Probably.
Yeah, I think he did. I think that's obviously what he did. I still feel good there. I just got to grind through them, and which I'm going to do eventually.
Hmm.
All right, so here's where the big things happen. My this is bottom of two charges. I charge his prelate. He flees. I redirect into the huntsman, and these guys charge into the huntsman also with the 4-up regen up. He couldn't make it out of my charge arc on the far left here. He thought about it for a little while. And he does very little with standing and shooting. He does one wound here, and he does what? It was 2 or 3. No, he does 0 over here.
Mm.
Wait, no. I think I don't. I haven't.
No, he shouldn't have a
Yeah.
stand and shoot so close.
Oh yeah, I think that's what it was.
Yeah.
No other charges. I probably should have charged here. I charge later on here, and I do well. So I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking.
Mm.
So in again, I get lucky on the shooting, and here's so I was afraid of the counter charge from these guys or the knights, particularly the knights. I was the most afraid of. So I put the gargoyles here. Oh, and also both my ambushers come on. So this is like the important part of the game right here. I have a lot to talk about. So the way the knights would couldn't make it around, couldn't wheel, and then also contact my centaurs, but they were in the side of these gargoyles. So if they overran, they go straight down, which is exactly what I wanted. And if these guys came in also, they'd blow up the unit before I'd flee. So the knights would still have to go downboard. Get what I'm saying? So I felt really good about this chaff. And then up here,
But then wouldn't the halberds overrun into the centaurs then?
they would, but I'd feel good because it would be an overrun, and then in my turn I could buff them up.
Okay. All right. Interesting. Yep.
That's what I was thinking. Up here, I got a little greedy here. I instead of putting both of the thrown weapon guys into the last of his chaff, I just put one, and then the one I faced it toward the cannon to hopefully do some wounds on the cannon. I regret this in the shooting phase, but
Spoiler alert.
all right, in the magic phase, I get everything off on this Longhorn unit. I get Stone Skin, I get Healing Waters, and I get Entwining Roots off on the Steam Tank. It was a great phase for me. Throw my chaff in front of the Imperial Guard, and that's about it.
I'm assuming he stopped Spectral. That's got to be
I honestly don't remember.
Right?
I got so much off. I think I just did it. I had Magic Phase 5, so it was the big phase for me too.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe it was he stopped that and I let everything else go. Let's see here. In the shooting phase, no. In the shooting phase, on the far left, I do 3 wounds to the cannon, and I only kill 1 reader with my thrown weapons, and he passes his panic, and now he's like the perfect chaff, just sitting there. I was kicking myself when I did this, and then the other thing I did to really screw up this game was these guys after combat. I didn't rotate them enough, and now if those knights come into the flank, they clip the corner of my centaurs.
Yeah.
Sloppy play on my part. Ben can tell you, I was kicking myself. I was so mad at myself. Again, in combat here, I do 2 more, so he is 1 wound left on the steam tank. I wish I would have done that 1 more, but it is what it is.
I think they're probably safe from any sort of counter charges with the amount of buffs that you have on them right now.
But like the really,
what are they? Res 7 4-up regen.
yeah, they're pretty good. But really, this mess up with the rotate of the centaurs here, and combined with me not killing that second reader, like basically lost me this half of the board. Because the knights are going to come in, they're going to overrun into him. He's going to chaff the other centaur unit with the reader, and then the knights are going to eat my centaurs alive. I was really kicking myself. Ugh.
Yeah.
So in his phase, this is top. So this is top of three. So at the bottom of two, we were tied on the center objective, 1-1. He comes in both sides there. You see exactly what's happening here. You chaff me with the reader also on the left. I'm just kicking myself some more. And he rallies his what am I trying to say? Rally his
Prelate.
prelate. That's the word. And he also jumps his BSB out here because I think he wanted to make it into this unit here, the crossbows. Oh, and also notice my
Yeah.
one unit wild horns are gone upstairs because he panics them with crossbow shots. Panics them off the board. Ugh, ugh.
Rough.
So when he did that, when he took his BSB out, because his BSB is basically naked. All he has is his armor, so 4-up armor. And I was thinking I could sneakily sneak in a what should I call it, Master of Earth on him and get a lucky kill on him. But as you will see, oh, and then my wild horns up here panic off the board and also panic the other wild horn unit.
Jeez. Okay.
Typical wild horns. So as what happens, what we imagine over here, he overruns in my centaurs. He overruns over here out of my longhorn arc, but it's fine. I've got a big block of wild horns to come down on him.
So looking back at this past turn, like I'm a little surprised that you focused on the cannon, given
Yeah.
that it doesn't really have a big impact on you. Did you like
Well,
I'm a little surprised you didn't come in behind that crossbow bunker to
I remember I
threaten them.
definitely thought about it, but I was afraid he was just gonna turn around and panic me off the board, and I felt like I had a chance to maybe one shot the cannon because it has what, 4 wounds?
5, I think.
5? Yeah, maybe I was estimating myself.
Mm,
But
okay.
I basically knew I had to kill those readers, and I didn't do it. And I got greedy.
Have you run the math? Is it average to do it?
Yeah, it's average.
Yeah. Okay. If it's that important, better to double down, I guess. But yeah. All right. Yeah. So that's a pretty rough outcome for the ambushers. All right. Let's see how we recover here. So the stank's gone, and it's your turn.
Yeah, my turn. Go for the charge with the wild horns, of course. The charge with the longhorns. I'm realizing I need to get my scoring units into within 6 inches of the center, so that's why I kind of pushed over here. And there's really nothing I can do over here except kill the chaff and maybe try to overrun away from this unit because he overran into this centaur. So next turn he's going to turn wherever he wants and charge.
Hmm.
So I get
What about
in.
your plan to buff them? I thought you were gonna. That
I
could still
probably
work, right?
I probably should have because I at this point I was thinking, oh man, they have lances. I'm done. That's what I was thinking.
Mm.
But really, I should have stuck over there and tried to buff them. But what I decided to do is let them die, move my wizard bunker as far over here as I can, so he can't. He had to give him a long charge to make it into me with the knights.
Mm. Okay.
Yeah. In the shooting phase, nothing really happens. Combat. He elects to stand after this combat, and he doesn't do very much, but he breaks me. So
Hmm.
again, I think you were right. Maybe I should have stayed over there and tried to buff. But the danger of that is if he does win combat, he turns and just plows into my wizard bunker, and then the game's over.
Yeah, but you've got the 12 from the water for healing waters,
Mm,
and yeah, I mean, I guess it's that if you only have one spell, it's not a guarantee. Yeah, fair enough.
yeah. I elect to just overrun as much as I can with these centaurs to try to get away from him. I really should have not done that. I should have just faced the knights. And then over here, I do a ton of damage to the. I do like 15 wounds, I think, to the Imperial Guard because I got Blooded Horn up. Uh, but he is. I forgot this, but he's stubborn with a character, so he just sticks there.
Yeah.
Uh, he also moves his halberdiers right here to just barely be touching 6 inches from the center. So we're again tied on the center objective.
Yeah.
All right, his turn. This is top of 4. Charges my fleeing centaurs. They barely remain on the board, but he decides to redirect into the back of these centaurs, which he
Okay.
successfully does. Very easy. And then he does some just more movement around. He moves his BSB over to here, out of the charge arc of the Longhorns, and his halberdiers out of the charge arc of the Longhorns. And he moves his prelate here to threaten my wizard bunker. So he's starting to take his characters out of units, which is, I think, good for me. But if any of those characters get into my wizard bunker, that's what I'm definitely afraid of.
Mm.
And what was 4?
Okay.
What's 4 on cosmology?
I want to say it's perception.
Oh, perception. So yeah, I'm only the strength 2.
Yeah, I think that's right. I can double check.
That's all right. And magic in his combat, nothing happens here, which is surprising, and he blows
Yeah,
up the
it's perception.
centaurs. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
He blows up my centaurs. They run off the board, and that panics these wild horns again, and they run, but stay on the board. Damn wild horns. Oh, here we go. This in this combat, I kill all 5. I think I killed him exactly to a man, and that panics the unit, and he runs, but he makes it away from me.
But it's your turn now.
Yes.
Yeah, because
Yes.
that.
There
Yeah.
you go. And then I charge him through the building. He takes no DTs, which was annoying, and then they have
Mm.
no one else to charge.
Was that the right decision, do you think? Because now it kind of takes you off the objective for another turn and a half, right?
Well, in reality, like, there's no way I'm gonna get out. Yeah, I probably should have. I was afraid he was just gonna rally, and then he could get into my wizard bunker. That's what I was totally worried
Ah,
about.
yeah, that's fair. You gotta watch out for that. Fair enough. Okay. It just
Uh,
puts you in a tough position on the objective, but
Rally. I don't rally my centaurs. They run off the board. Very, very sad. So sad.
and the wild horns up top. Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah, your left looks so good and then just
I
collapse.
know. It was that one move that totally screw up by me. It wasn't the dice. It was my sloppy play. Ugh, ugh. I knew it right when I did it too. I was kicking myself real hard. So I turned the Longhorns to face over here to his BSB into this halberdier unit, or into the crossbows if he gives it to me. And I move my wizard bunker out of arc of his prelate here.
Okay.
In my phase, I get regen off on the big unit, and I get -1 toughness off on his BSB that's sitting alone. So hopefully I can shoot him off. That's what I was hoping for. I don't. I do 0 wounds to the shooting. Boo. But then in his turn, top of 5, he charges into my wizard bunker. My worst fears have come true.
With the
But
BSB,
yeah, with his BSB.
the unarmored,
Yeah,
unequipped BSB
I'm
with -1 resilience and -1 leadership. Okay.
and then in the stand and shoot, I do 2 wounds to him. Yes. Oh yes.
Wow.
um let's see. The
And now
rest
his knight unit is coming around
Yeah,
to
his knight
flank.
units come around. It's a little scary. He brings his artificer here to chaff my longhorns so I won't blow up his halberdiers with his wizard in it, which is the right move.
Yeah. But I mean, those artificers are on a horse are super cheap, I think, right? Aren't they like 130 points or something
They
like
went
that? I
up
mean,
they
that's
went up in the points update, but they're still totally worth it for chaff.
yeah, it's I mean, yeah, that's great.
Let's see here, and then he moves his prelate over here to charge my wizard bunker from the side, also. So I'm still kicking myself from the mood at the beginning of the game because this is like caused the whole game to crumble for me. In the magic phase, he doesn't get anything off. I don't remember this phase, but I remember it wasn't good for him.
Hmm.
So my turn, bottom of 5. Charge the Artificer. I go for broke and I charge the flank of his prelate with my 4 dogs. If I buff him
How was
up,
the prelate equipped? Is he Hero's Heart, I think?
let's see. He's Hammer of Witches. No. He's the Locket of Suna guy, so he's got no offensive.
Oh, okay.
So if I get some good Druidas and buffs on the dogs, I feel like I'm good over here. That could really save me.
Nice.
Make
Was
it
it just
in.
too close to chaff? Because this is a risky move, right? Because if he finishes them off, then he's got the free pivot. Was he too close to your bunker
Yeah,
to chaff?
exactly.
Okay.
Because the footprint of the bunker basically puts it like within an inch of his front,
Yeah. Okay.
so I couldn't chaff
Got
him.
it. Oh, right. You've got the wizards off to the
Yeah.
side. Yeah. Okay. Makes sense.
I couldn't make it far enough to get another unit within 6 inches of the center, so we're still at 0-0 for the center objective.
Oh, so the Inquisitor ran off? Wow. That's unlucky. Okay.
Oh yes, thank you. I forgot to say that. He fails to rally one time and runs off the board. I was thinking the stars above for that one.
Yeah.
And in Magic, I get 4-up regen off on those dogs. Fantastic. I also get Blooded Horn on my Wizard Bunker, so now he's got a 6-up armor save.
Get it.
I'm feeling good. Feeling good. And I do 0 wounds to his BSB in combat. But he does 0 wounds to me with his prelate, and he breaks from combat and runs through his whole army.
This is where I joined the game.
I charged flank, so I had a static of 2, and then we whiffed. Oh, no, he did 1 wound to me, so I won combat by 1. And he broke with the reroll. With the reroll, it was brutal. It was absolutely brutal.
Poor Ben.
He gets 5 again. Altered was Perception of Strength off on.
No, 5 is touch the heart. No, it's unity, so it gives him a 5-up ward.
Was that it? Yeah, maybe.
It's the only thing that I think it's the only thing that makes sense, right? Yeah, let me double check. Yeah, unity. So it gave him a 5-up ward.
That was his, and then in combat, he does 2 wounds to me, but then I plunk him off with the last wound.
Wow,
that was crazy good for me, and that was his turn 6, so he can't with his night bus. He can't. Well, did he? He had a long charge, but he knew he wanted to make it in just to within 6 inches of the center to try to win objective. Because if he didn't, I was going to win objective on the bottom of 6.
Yeah, smart. That's a smart play.
And then basically nothing else happens bottom 6. I just move this unit into the center, and we push on objective.
Okay.
But
wow.
Oh, and then on the last turn, I attempt a Master of Earth on his. I think that was
Artificer.
I don't know, Knight Commander or something. No, his Artificer died. No, yeah, his Artificer. I charged his Artificer over here with my Longhorns, and I didn't do any. I did 1 wound, I think, and then he fled from combat, and I didn't catch him, and so he ended up here. And I was hoping to kill him off on the bottom of 6, but it didn't happen. So, looking back at the game, I made some huge mistakes, and the dice saved me. Ben, I'm sorry. Ben, please accept my humble apology. But it was a really fun game. Ben's a good guy. And it ended up being 13-7 to me.
So 13-7 on points, push objective.
Yep.
Yeah.
And basically that it was going to be a 10-10, but the 13 basically was killing his BSB. And
yeah, I'm sure with the bonus and everything.
One other thing, yeah. Whew. So yeah,
Wow.
what do you think?
I mean, I think you had the right strategy, right? Use the centaurs to zone that whole left of the objective and try to win in the center with your big blocks. Where I agree, your one-to-one matchups or even two-on-one matchups are pro in your favor, right?
Hmm.
Um, and I think, yeah, you had a little bit of a mistake with the centaurs. I actually even think the Wildhorn mistake wouldn't have cost you if your centaurs hadn't been in the overrun path, right? Because then
Hmm.
I think you still would have been in a good position, right? He can't chaff both
Yeah,
easily, right?
yeah.
Without sacrificing a character. So I think you were just I think two mistakes at once was
Those
the
two
issue there.
mistakes in that one turn just cost me the whole side,
Yeah.
the whole left flank.
Yeah.
I was, and I, it hit me like a wave when I realized what I did, and it was one phase after my move, the end of the combat phase. I'm like, no, but it is what it is. You got to,
No, I think the rest of it was played pretty soundly. I mean, I think the only thing that I asked about was the Wildhorn pushing the Inquisitor off. I mean, it ended up paying off, right?
hmm
But there's another scenario where he rallies, comes back, and threatens your bunker anyways later, and you sacrifice an
that
objective win,
that one
right?
turn of objective. Yeah.
Yeah, which would have ended up being the deciding turn, right?
Hmm.
So that one I think that's kind of a but I get it. I mean, if you lose that bunker, it's like a whole passel of points, right?
Yeah, that's
So,
definitely the downside of this army is that bunker is just so susceptible. If any, basically anything that's relatively good gets into it, the game's over for me.
yeah, and the bonuses from the Sea of the Dark Forest sort of make you play aggressive with it sometimes to stay in the casting bonus,
Yeah,
which is a little counterintuitive sometimes. But no, I think it played well. It's a good. I mean, this is a tough list, like archetype. It's performing very well in tournaments, so it's a good win against a tough list for sure. Yeah, well played.
all right, well, thank you everyone for joining us for this bat rep. Thank you, Vespasian. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.
See you, everybody.